As you read by the title, you already know what this video is about. This is going to be a whole Lauren Roberts Powerless series reading vlog. These are all the books. These are all the books I own by her. Today is actually April 30th, the day that the Barnes & Noble special edition of Powerful released, and it just hit me, why don't I just make a video about this series? Because the way it's going, I'm loving this book more than I love Asimov. And if you know me, you know I'm unhealthily obsessed with Asimov. So the fact that I'm sitting here saying this might be better than that book is crazy. I am highly enjoying this book. Every page, every word, every moment. I'm literally annotating every other page, and when I'm not, I'm like, you might be forgetting something. I just thought this would be just a fun video to make. My reactions are priceless. I just want you guys to enjoy the series with me. So again, we're halfway through Powerless. Today was the release date for Powerful, and did I go and get the UK paperback so I can annotate it? Yes, I did. I also have Book a Million signed copy of Powerful, and then I have Barnes & Noble special edition of Powerless, and the Barnes & Noble special edition of Powerless. If I'm not mistaken, I think the next book in the series, which is called Reckless, comes out in August or June, and I already pre-ordered the Barnes & Noble special edition, and I will be buying the UK paperback version. I'm just having a good old time. So I'm going to go put my hair in a more comfortable hairstyle, change my shirt, and we're going to continue reading Powerless. I don't know if you guys, let me turn off this TV. Hold on. Okay, let's try that again. So, I don't know if you guys know this about me, but no matter how many books I read, what it's about, I've never cried over a book. I've cried over one book. And this book just made me cry. Let me not say cry, that's being dramatic. I teared up. I shed a tear or two. But oh, I'm still in emotional distraught, please. I told myself I was gonna come back on here and tell you guys about the first child. I'm debating if I want to make this a spoiler-free or a spoiler video because I really just want to talk about what just happened. You know what? It's gonna be spoiler free, but I have to talk about this. So if you haven't read Powerless, skip to this time so you're not spoiled of anything that happens in this book. I'm trying to figure out how to explain this book because I started in the middle of the book, so you guys don't know what's going on. Basically, this book is like Hunger Games, but with people with powers, okay? These people with power, they're called the elites, and then people who are ordinary, they don't have powers at all. Hayden, our main character, she pretends to be an elite who's a psychic. In all actuality, she's an ordinary. She just knows how to read people really well to pretend to be a psychic. And then you have Kai. He's the prince. He is the future enforcer, the person who goes out and kills these ordinaries. He's the king's right hand. He has an older brother who's going to take place as the next king, okay? And then there's this little boy named Jax that they kind of took in as an orphan, and they considered this little boy their little brother, okay? So every year their city gets to choose who represents them. In the beginning of the book, before Peyton knew who Kai was, she saved his life, and the whole town was impressed, and they selected her for the trials. The trials is similar to the Hunger Games, except for it happens in different stages and it happens in an arena full of an audience. But because Kai is a future enforcer and he's joining the games, they make it a little different. They're basically drugged and dragged into the woods. They're stuck in the woods for a week. And they have these bands on their arm. They have to get as many as possible. But the bands are so tight on their arm, you have to cut them off with people. So they're making it so they have to fight each other. Ace had encountered Peyton and left Peyton really injured. So when Kai and Peyton finally meet up to make an alliance, Kai sees this wound and is like, who did this to you? Because they both secretly like each other. They're just too stubborn to admit it. So during the last night, they get a note basically saying to come to this arena. So all the contestants are forced to fight. Now they have an audience. They're in this arena. Kai sees Ace and he's like, oh yeah, I'm gunning for you. Oh, I'm bad at explaining, but let's rewind a little bit. Kai and Jax, his little brother, is in this trial, okay? There's about 9 of them, if I'm not mistaken. So in the middle of Kai's and Ace's battle, Ace gets Kai against the wall, and then Jack throws Kai a weapon so he could save himself. Ace makes more illusions of himself, but this time he makes his little brother Jack look like himself, and Kai ends up killing his little brother. That's where you saw me cry. And when I look happy and relieved at the end, it's because Kai has the ability to take on whoever's power. So he runs towards the crowds to hone on somebody's healing ability, and he saves Jax literally the last second. Oh my gosh. Now I'm sitting here like, what's going to happen during the rest of these trials? I'm literally scared, because if that made me cry, I'm just, wow. I'm scared in a good way. I'm scared in a good way. That's all I have to say. So we have a lot to talk about. First, I want to tell y'all how much I hate TikTok. Yeah, because I'm scrolling, having a good time, having some me time, and then they spoil something that happens in Powerless for me. I am so upset about it. I know I'm smiling, but just know I'm really upset, okay? I just got out the shower and my impulsive thoughts are kicking in, because when you're going on a natural hair journey, it is really humbling. If you can see, this is all new growth and this is dead hair. So I'm trying to sit here and talk myself out of flat ironing my hair. We'll see if that works later on. I just want to tell y'all a little bit about what's going on in Powerless. And before you say something, Starbucks is just the only place that gives away free water or ice. So I went and got ice, and this is, I'm talking about everything else but the book, but Aldi's had came out with these new Frappuccino powders. They have Caramel Crunch, Cookie Crumble, and then Java Chip. This is Java Chip. Again, I just got ice. Pour the powder in, some milk. I put a tablespoon and a half of sugar, well, brown sugar, and blend it all up. Put a little bit of whipped cream on top. So good. Half of it's already gone. It's so good. But let's talk about Powerless. I have, I want to say 140-ish pages to go. Every time I pick up this book, I'm smiling or I'm giggling. The banter between Peyton and Kai is top tier. I love Lauren Roberts' writing. This book is just doing something to me. I decided I'm gonna make spoiler sections because there's no way I'm gonna get through this whole video and not be able to talk about this book in its entirety. I plan on finishing this book today. If I don't, I'm definitely finishing it tomorrow. But I'm about to just sit down and power through this book. And I don't want it to end. With that being said, let me figure out what I'm about to do with my hair and continue reading Powerless. had to start recording because this book. I'm gonna try my best to fight the urge to highlight and underline so we can get through the rest of this chapter, but let's read this. TikTok spoiled for me. It's happening right now. Posted my photo collage and Lauren Roberts liked it. I finished Powerless 2 nights ago. Lauren Roberts is now my new favorite author. This book is my favorite book ever, all time. If you say what's your favorite book in the whole wide world, this is the answer. I love it so much. When it comes to the big three, Twilight, the Divergent series, and the Hunger Games, I've only seen the movies. I haven't read the books. So I've never had a book end on me the way this one did. It destroyed a part of me. So before I go into the details of this book, I want to go ahead and give my overall ratings. This is obviously an infinity read. It is so good. It's a YA fantasy book. So expect a lot of tension, slow burn. The banter in this book is top tier. This book is making me want to read the Hunger Games, but at the same time I don't want to read the Hunger Games because this is enough. But guys, time for the spoiler part. I will be reiterating this throughout the whole video. If you do not want to be spoiled and you want to read this book, skip to this time. Okay, skip to this time. Guys, the ending of this book is crazy because everything pops off during the final trials, okay? And my friend warned me about what was going to happen. She told me that there will be another death that will make me emotional. And immediately when she said that, I start theorizing who. And because it's so parallel to the Hunger Games, I kind of had an idea exactly who it was, which it was. And during the third trial, when it was happening, I don't know why I didn't see it coming or happening at that moment, but when it did, it hit me. I'm gonna stop being so vague. So during the last trial, they had this sand maze that moved and redesigned itself throughout the trials. To win the trials, not only did you have to get to the center of the maze, but there was someone that they had to unalive who was worthy of the said punishment. And guys, why Peyton was the first one to get to the center and her best friend was the person she had to unalive. Her best friend's name is Adina and she's a seamstress, and that's how they survived on the streets. So when she got to the trials, they asked, can she be her seamstress? And they're like, yeah. And they moved her into the castle because, you know, she was trying to put her friend on. Get her home cooked meals, a bed to sleep in, and she got paid for the job. Guys, why did they break her fingers? Like, they just made her last moments on earth the most miserable ever. They had her hands and her legs binded. And when Peyton saw her, she ran straight to her. She just couldn't believe that she was the one that was supposed to be unalive to win the trial. And there's this girl in the book that's been gunning for Peyton because she's been getting the prince's attention and she wants the prince's attention. Did Blair unalive Adina in front of Peyton, and Kai was there too, but he was just so shocked because he never thought he would see Peyton so distraught. And oh my gosh, if I didn't theorize and predict that it would be her, I think I would have cried, but because I saw it coming, I didn't. But it still hurt so bad, especially reading the details of what they did to her before Blair killed her. Too much. It's too much. And then I told y'all about the resistance, right? So she's a part of resistance. And then at the end of the book, I don't know if I talked about it, but after trials 2, the resistance tags Peyton with finding out the tunnels that lead to the arena and also getting the keys to the tunnel. And then during the last ball, Peyton used her wits of being a thief in the slums to get the keys off of Kit and gave it to one of the allies of the resistance, okay? During the end of the book, the resistance come. Oh my gosh. And they basically use silencers to turn off everybody's powers within the arena. But Kai has been training to fight a silencer because only a silencer can fight a silencer. And because he has the ability to take on anybody's power, he ends up fighting a silencer, burning all of the silencers. But then he's just thinking like, okay, I understand because of Peyton's psychic abilities, she's not affected by the silencers. But why is no resistant member guarding her like they are doing the rest of us? But Kai figured out that Peyton is an ordinary. She's a part of the resistance. Peyton ends up killing the king at the end of the book. Kai, he throws a knife, not to kill her, but to get her attention. And he wants to kill her. He has to kill her. She just killed his father. And he's just like, I can't. You do something to me. He's like, run. Because the next time I see you, I promise you, I will not falter. I will not fail. I will not miss. And at the end of the book, the last chapter is in Kit's point of view. And he is now the king. And I feel so bad for Kit because he really trusted Peyton. He was falling for Peyton. And Peyton was putting in his ear how to change the future when he's the king into a better world where everybody accepts everybody. And you know, he was a nice prince. He was going to do that anyway. But after Peyton betrayed and backstabbed both of them, he was so hurt. Now he's trying to live in the likeness of his father. And then literally the book ends with Kit telling Kai to find Peyton and bring her to him. I cannot wait for Reckless, and I'm over here debating if I should just go into the novella because I have it. But then I'm just like, if I read it now, I'm going to have to wait 2 months for Reckless to come out. So I think I'm going to wait until next month to read Powerful. And Powerful is in Adina's point of view during all of this. I'm so excited. And then I was on TikTok because Oh, I wish I read this book sooner because I missed her press tour in the US for this book. But I did see some clips on TikTok and she basically says the series is going to stay YA. There's not going to be smut, which is good for me. She don't need it. The banter, the tension, it's so good. It doesn't need it. And I hope she does a press tour for Reckless because when I say I'm getting a ticket, I have to meet this woman. She has literally changed my life. Book is amazing. I keep saying that and I hope I'm not overhyping it for people, which I probably am. But this book is so good to me personally. And also I saw on TikTok that someone made a fan fiction for this series. It's called Heartless and it's about like one of the Imperial Guards who's a woman. She has a more intimate relationship with Kit and Kai. She's training under Kai and she's on like a good talking standpoint with Kit. And so far she only has 2 chapters out. I already read them. I think she's writing it as we go. So if more chapters drop while I'm making this video, you will definitely catch me reading it. But it's so good. I had to read the first 2 chapters to make sure it was good before I start talking about it. It's good. I like it. I feel like her writing is pretty similar to Lauren Roberts, which makes it even more better. So yeah, the next time y'all see me, I will be starting Powerful. So I think we're gonna end this video with me reading Powerful because this video is gonna be way too long. So we're gonna have to do a part 2 with me reading Reckless. And I'm also reading Lauren Roberts. I don't know why I want to start reading it at, what time is it? I don't know why I want to start reading this book at 12:35 in the morning, but I do. And yeah, I think I have an hour before my sister gets here. So I'm going to try to read this, stay up for her sake, let her in the house, then I'm going to bed. I've already read a few pages. What's new? So I'm going to continue reading this tonight and I'll see y'all tomorrow. I pull out the camera. My sister said, so you're just going to read here at the corner?
She said, I'm gonna read.
Like, obviously, I'm recording the next talking point. She wants to be here so bad. So we're gonna let her. The last time y'all saw me pick up this book, are you recording?
No, I took pictures. Maybe you want behind the scene photos. Damn. Sorry for being thoughtful.
Anyway, I'm so messed up in thought. So the last time you guys saw me pick up this book, I only got to page 10, I think. Or I don't know. Chapter 1, chapter 2, I don't know. I didn't finish it. So my goal was to finish this on a plane ride yesterday because I saw Lauren Roberts. And I want to go on a little rant real quick. So I bought my annotation kit, right? It has my highlighters, my tabs, even the Sharpies so I could name the tabs. But I forgot my pen at home. It wasn't in the kit. So when I got on the plane, I was so upset. I have OCD. I have OCD and I like everything to be unified. So this lady gave me her pen, but it was so inky. Guys, when I say the OCD in me is going crazy, because there's just 2 different pen marks in here. And her pen was so inky, I couldn't even write what I wanted to. So I'm gonna have to do that right now before we start reading, actually. So, but yes, I saw Lauren Roberts, and you guys will see that in the next video to part 2 to this vlog. But again, I tried to finish it on a plane. I got distracted with doing everything else. So we're gonna finish this book today. And then I'm gonna give you guys my thoughts and that will be the end of this video. And then the next video, I will be meeting Miss Lauren Roberts and reading Reckless. And I got that in the mail today. So I'm going to open that here because I have no patience. She is pretty. She's not as big as Powerful or Powerless. This is Powerful. This isn't as big as Powerless. Can't wait. Let's read. Lauren Roberts does with her writing, but it's so immersive. If you have another obsessed book by Lauren Roberts, like, if you can't tell, it's like, you know what happens at the end of Powerless, and it breaks my heart. I made a tab for, if you know, you know. This novella is touching home. If you don't know what this book is about, it's about a character in Powerless, and it's their backstory. I don't want to give gender or anything away because I feel like it's going to spoil the first book if you haven't read this series yet. So again, I'm gonna put a timestamp right here. Skip to this time so you're not spoiled. I don't want to be the reason anything gets spoiled for you in this series. Okay? You're gone? Okay. So this book is about Adina. Like, this is her story of what happens after Peyton leaves for the trials and up until her death, okay? And of course she gets a little nice romance. She meets this guy named Mac. His cousin ends up going into the trials and he's trying to save her. And apparently Kai is not the only person with his type of power, because if you remember, he has a power to use any other person's ability. So does he, and apparently the king has killed everyone with this power because only Kai should have this power. That's, well, you know, in the twisted king's mind. He's been hiding, his cousin's been protecting her. Now that she's in the trials, he wants to protect her. And when they were leaving, he had saw how much Adina loves Peyton. He he makes a deal with Adina and says, if you want to see Peyton again, I need you to make me look like an Imperial Guard because she's a seamstress. So they make this alliance. They've been hanging out, getting to know each other, falling for each other, and there's just some things she says and I'm just like, oh my gosh, that's never gonna happen. They're talking about being with each other forever, and it's just heartbreaking. And then you get, there's so much that goes on in this book for such a small book. And mind you, the font is way smaller than what it is in Powerless. She comes to the palace, she becomes a seamstress, she gets close with Peyton's maid, she talks to Kit, like she gives him advice when it comes to Peyton, and then she meets the king. And I was just so heartbroken because I'm just like, stop telling him stuff about you and Peyton because that's how you die. But right now, I'm at the part where I think it's the second trials, and she has this ritual with her love interest where they sleep in the home, well, fortress, where her and Peyton sleep and live. I have like 50 more pages to go, and I'm just scared because there's just cute stuff that's already made me kind of emotional. Even though the end of Powerless was spoiled for me, I think this is gonna actually make me cry for that scene because I don't know how to explain it. Like, you have more characters to empathize with. Because not only will have Mac lost his cousin, but he's going to lose the love of his life. And it's just so heartbreaking because I'm theorizing, straight theorizing, that either, you know, he's going to become like a villain arc or something, or he's going to have his moments where he's going to get his revenge, or he's going to turn himself in so he doesn't have to live alone. And that is so sad to think about. But yeah. I have 50 more pages. I'm going to finish this book tonight. And mind you, I'm reading this after I met Lauren Roberts. So when I flip through my annotations, of course, I get to this part and I'm just like, I got it signed in person by her. These are my prized possessions, all of them. All the books I got signed by her. Can you see them? It's a stack right there. Prized possessions. But yeah, I'm going to continue reading. And let's see if this book makes me cry. So I finished Powerless last night, and as you saw, it hit me right in here. I did tear up a little bit. It's just the way she described what happens at the end was so heartwarming. Not even heartwarming, heart-wrenching. But I'm not gonna lie, I wish it was sadder because I feel like she could have used Mac's character to pull at a lot of heartstrings if she brought up certain people, wording, you know. As always, let's give my overall rating, and then I'll go into a deeper rant about this book. I didn't know what to rate this book, and to be honest, I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to express to you. Overall, on the Goodreads, I rated it 5 stars. And because it made me tear up, and I've obviously bought several copies of this book, I want to give it a 5 stars for that. But I feel like it's in the high 4 stars. I really can't pinpoint my rating right now, but I feel like if I was supposed to round it up, it would come up to a 5 stars. So we're going to say this book was 5 stars. For such a small book with big font, there was so much in here. And even with the new added characters, I was able to empathize with them. And I think that's really amazing for this little novella to do. And yeah, overall, I really enjoyed this book. So now, if you don't want to be spoiled, skip to this time, please. Okay, so the book basically ends how Powerless ends. Adina dies, but Mac was in the audience and witnessed it, and you get more of Adina's point of view from when the king summons her to being in the dungeons with her fingers broken, and her thoughts while she was sitting in the center of the arena waiting for Peyton to come rescue her. And then when it came to Mac, when you got his point of views, it starts off with him going to the fort for their slumber party ritual, but she doesn't end up showing up because, again, the king put her in the dungeon. And he's just like, there must be a good reason she's not there. There must have been a fashion emergency. So when he's going back to his house, there's a flyer welcoming everybody to come witness the last trial. And he usually doesn't go to those. He doesn't find it entertaining. Then he remembers Adina's going to be there rooting for Peyton, and he just wanted to be with her to comfort her. So he decided he's going to go and surprise her. And when he goes there, he tries to hone on her ability to find her. And every time he was directed to the end of the rails towards the arena. And finally, he put 2 and 2 together. And the reason I say I wish it was more sad is because I feel like Lauren Roberts could have mentioned how he lost his cousin and now he's losing the love of his life. She could have added that little tidbit at the end. But no, it was more so like he was just crying and he was going to mourn her loss. In the book, they describe each other as stars, and he says she's the brightest. She outshines the sun, and they make a promise that they're going to be in the sky together. So that's really how the book ends. You just get to see him in distraught, and you get to see her final words while Peyton's holding her in her arms. And it did its job. It still tugged on my heartstrings. I really enjoyed this book. And just like Powerless, I made a photo collage, so I want to show you. There wasn't a lot of fan art with Mac and Adina, and to be honest, I don't like most of the fan art in this book, but this is all they had. And of course, Adina gets her own page. So pretty. I can't wait to do the final collage with Reckless. Well, technically not final, because Lauren Roberts announced that the 3rd book will be released next year, and on Barnes & Noble says it will be released on April 8th, I believe. The 3rd book is called Fearless, and then she also confirmed that there will be another novella. So I'm really excited. I'm really enjoying this series. Now, I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot of mixed reviews regarding Reckless, and some people are really enjoying it because I feel like a lot of people forget this is young adult. Is for a younger audience. It's not going to have the best writing. I heard that there's a lot of repetition and Reckless to the point that you feel like you're going in circles. So I'm kind of scared because I've been really enjoying this series, and I would hate not to enjoy Reckless the way I've been enjoying the first 2 books in the series. So we'll see. And if you want to see my reactions to Reckless, watch part 2 of my vlog. I'll be reading Reckless. I'll be reading Miss Lauren Roberts. And earlier I was editing this vlog and I totally forgot that there's a fanfic. So we're going to be reading that too in the next vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed, and see you in the next video.